Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amita Sharma in for Ebony Bonet. The Trump administration says it will go to the Supreme Court to appeal the latest ruling on the president's travel ban. That new ruling by a federal judge in Hawaii could allow more than 24,000 refugees into the U.S. President Trump's order would keep them out for 4 months, even though they've already been vetted by resettlement agencies and approved by the U.S. The judge says vetted refugees should be allowed in. He also ordered the government not to enforce the ban for foreigners who have close relatives in the United States, such as grandparents, grandchildren, uncles, and aunts. The president's order affects travelers from 6 Muslim-majority countries. President Trump's border wall faces an environmental challenge in San Diego. A federal lawsuit says the government has failed to conduct an environmental analysis for barrier construction in this area. KPBS Fronteras reporter Jean Guerrero has the story.
Prototypes for Trump's border wall are scheduled to be built this summer in the mountains near Otay Mesa. In addition to the prototypes, Trump plans to rebuild 14 miles of border fence stretching inland from Imperial Beach. The area is home to endangered species like the Keno checker spot butterfly and fragile ecosystems like vernal pools. Brian Segee of the Center for Biological Diversity says his organization is suing the government for failing to prepare or publish the legally required environmental analysis.
We're now at the threshold of these major construction projects being undertaken at the border, and there's just no information. There's no environmental analysis that's been done.
Both the Department of Homeland Security and Customs and Border Protection declined to comment. Construction on much of the existing border fence circumvented environmental laws. The Real ID Act of 2005 gave Homeland Security the power to waive any laws deemed necessary to ensure quick construction of border barriers in the name of national security. Segee says Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly could invoke those waivers as well.
We would challenge those waivers, but it would not be at all surprising for this administration to use that.
The agencies have until September 5th to respond to the claims in the lawsuit. Jean Guerrero, KPBS News.
A mental competency hearing has been set for a man accused of attacking and killing homeless people in San Diego. Prosecutors say John David Guerrero killed 3 people and wounded 2 others last year. The victims were beaten and 2 were set on fire. A doctor says Guerrero is not competent to stand trial. The judge in the case has suspended criminal proceedings, and a competency hearing will be held next week. Guerrero was supposed to have a hearing today, but a judge postponed the criminal proceedings because a doctor says Guerrero is not competent to stand trial. The House has passed a bill to increase defense spending by 10% over last year. The bill gives U.S. troops a 2.4% pay increase. It also includes more money for shipbuilding and $487 million for new military construction here in San Diego County. The measure passed on a bipartisan vote. San Diego's Salk Institute is being sued by 2 of its top scientists who say the research center is an old boys club. Catherine Jones and Vicki Lundblad say women at Salk are paid less, are not promoted, and are denied opportunities simply because they are women. Jones and Lundblad are biologists. Salk says they have been treated generously by the Institute, including relative to their male peers. The Institute is not making any other statements because of the pending lawsuit. California's Attorney General is being accused of misleading voters on an initiative to repeal the gas tax. A Republican lawmaker is suing Javier Becerra over the ballot description of the measure. Travis Allen of Huntington Beach says that description leaves out a key detail.
We have a very simple ballot initiative. It does one thing. It repeals the gas tax. In the title and summary that was just brought back by Jerry Brown's hand-picked Attorney General, doesn't even mention the word tax in the title. This ballot summary is extremely misleading.
The ballot summary goes on to petition forms. More than 300,000 signatures are needed to get the gas tax repeal onto the 2018 ballot. A coalition of California businesses is throwing its support behind Governor Jerry Brown's plan to reduce greenhouse gases. They want to extend the cap-and-trade program, which allows companies to buy permits to release emissions into the air. Leaders of the California Business Roundtable say continuing the program until 2030 would allow them to manage the rising costs of gas and electricity while battling greenhouse gases.
countries throughout the world who have been signing on to agreements to reduce greenhouse gas. Every single country is watching what is going on here this week around cap and trade, whether we're going to extend it, how we improve the program, and what is California's path going to be to implement this law and achieve these reductions.
Some GOP legislators fear extending the program would boost the tax on gas. You may see self-driving cars on San Diego roads soon as part of a test planned for the region. KPBS science reporter David Wagner has some of the details presented today at Sandag.
The Regional Transportation Authority heard a presentation about plans to turn San Diego into a proving ground for autonomous vehicles by early next year. The region is one of 10 sites around the country selected by the Department of Transportation. Local testing will take place in 3 areas, parts of the I-15 and State Route 125, as well as streets throughout Chula Vista. Sandag Director of Operations Ray Traynor says San Diego is approaching this differently than other sites, where cars will be tested away from the public. The test beds here will be live, public environments, and so he says the nature of the testing will be very different than what might happen on a closed test track. Sandag also heard from local companies like Qualcomm that plan to use testing areas to help develop technologies for autonomous vehicles. David Wagner, KPBS News.
Hundreds of Scripps Ranch high school students are hoping they won't have to spend this weekend cramming to retake their advanced placement tests. Today, a San Diego judge heard arguments over whether their original test scores should be released. KPBS education reporter Megan Burks was at that hearing and joins us now by phone. Megan?
That's right, Anisha. I'm here at the federal courthouse downtown where the San Diego Unified School District and 23 Scripps Ranch students were just arguing for injunctive relief. They wanted those invalidated test scores released so that kids would know whether or not to take that retest starting on Monday. The judge ultimately did not grant that injunctive relief. The judge said that the idea that there could be damages attached to having to take this retest and possibly performing more poorly was too speculative, and he said that the district failed to show a likelihood of success in this case. And the district was saying that this was an outsized course of discipline for basically tables that were 2 feet too short. The students were seated too close together, and that was against the College Board's protocol. The College Board argued that it has to protect the integrity of its testing process for both all of the students taking it across the country as well as for the universities relying on those test scores. So ultimately, the judge sided with the College Board here. This doesn't mean that the case is over. This was just a motion for injunctive relief. As long as the school board wants to continue it, this case can go on and seek damages. Reporting from the courthouse downtown, Megan Burks, KPBS News.
California cancer advocates are gearing up for a fight with the U.S. Senate over its revised health care bill. The American Cancer Society says, as currently written, the bill could weaken the ability of millions of cancer patients to get the tests and treatments they need. They're worried it would force people with pre-existing conditions to pay more for less coverage.
Essentially, it's lives at stake. People who don't have access to adequate and affordable insurance do not get the tests to screen for cancer, and if diagnosed, they're not going to get the treatments they need. It can be cancer without adequate insurance is devastating financially to families, and prior to the Affordable Care Act, families simply went bankrupt.
Senate Republican leaders are hoping for a vote next week. If the Senate bill passes, the whole thing goes back to the House for another vote. It's no secret that growing up in adversity can be stressful for kids, but mounting research suggests persistent stress can smolder beneath the skin and become toxic, harming the brain and body and leading to major illnesses in adulthood. Lindsay Tanner of the Associated Press has the story.
From breathing exercises to arm flapping to recognizing emotions, the kids at this preschool are learning a different kind of lesson: how to manage stress. Mounting research suggests persistent stress early in life can become toxic.
We don't have exact figures on the number of kids exposed to toxic stress, but we do know that it numbers in the hundreds of thousands. Kids exposed to domestic violence, kids exposed to bullying at school, kids exposed to neighborhood violence.
Without intervention, toxic stress may damage young brains and harm the body.
So we know that High levels of toxic stress that occur early in life and then continue can lead to an increased risk of diabetes and heart disease as well.
Scientists are seeking toxic stress biomarkers that might lead to better diagnosis and early treatment. Doctors are increasingly screening families for adversity and recommending therapy, parenting classes, and other services to help prevent damage.
Dealing with and preventing toxic stress is the most important thing that we can do in medicine.
In rural Michigan, Chip and Natalie Clark are raising their grandkids who were exposed to drug abuse and other stresses. Therapists have offered guidance in helping the kids cope.
For the first time in their young lives, they actually have a home where they have a security routine, they're safe, they're loved, they have a bed. They know that if Grandma and Grandpa say something, that we're going to do it.
Experts say that kind of support at home may buffer harm from toxic stress. Communities and schools are trying other strategies.
They have the breathing activities, they have the peace table, they have the soft and safe space in the classroom where they can go have their big emotion. There's just a variety of different really intentional techniques that we use to help kids who have a history of adversity be regulated inside our classroom walls.
There's even a group hug, a gentle approach to help fight toxic stress. Lindsay Tanner, Associated Press, Asheville, North Carolina.
South Sudan is the world's newest nation, but has been gripped with civil war since 2013. NPR East Africa correspondent Aider Peralta explains why.
Just in 2011, South Sudan became the world's newest nation. South Sudanese people voted to split from Sudan, and the referendum ended the longest-running war on the African continent. Salva Kiir from the Dinka tribe won the presidency, and Riek Machar, a Nuer, became his vice president. In 2013, however, Kiir accused Machar of planning a coup, and the country quickly descended into civil war. And it has been brutal. Food aid has been systematically blocked, sparking famine in parts of the country. Those fleeing say forces are killing indiscriminately, often along tribal lines. The conflict is so heated, South Sudan is now the fastest-growing humanitarian crisis in the world. It's also incredibly complicated. In a country smaller than the state of Texas, there are 60 tribes, and many of their long-term feuds have become part of the greater conflict. One example, in a town called Wau, the Fertit are farmers and the Dinkas are herders. They've clashed over grazing land for decades. Shortly after independence, the government changed regional boundaries that made those tensions worse. And at the same time, fighting erupted between the government and the Nuer rebels. Some of them fled into Fertit territory, making the Fertit look like rebels too. The government took aim at the Fertits, who then joined the rebellion. And a decades-old battle about cows suddenly became a civil war fueled by tribalism. Now, multiply that a few dozen times, and you'll have an understanding of how complex the dynamics are in South Sudan.
We look at new and familiar faces already in the race for San Diego County offices. Tony Atkins and Lorena Gonzalez-Fletcher have big bills pending in Sacramento. What are their chances? And look, it's mid-season and the Padres are only half bad. Join us for the KPBS Roundtable tonight at 8:30.
Construction is done on a project to restore wetlands near the Del Mar Fairgrounds. The work is the result of a 2012 agreement between the Fairgrounds and the Coastal Commission. This is some time-lapse video of the project provided by the Fairgrounds. More than 10 acres of habitat have been restored, replacing some parking. The completion of the job will be celebrated with a ribbon cutting tomorrow. The last sand mine in the U.S. will close in 2020. The Lapis sand plant is on a beach in Monterey County. Experts say it's caused devastating erosion in Monterey Bay. The mine's operators deny that. Sand mining was actually banned nearly 30 years ago, but this plant was allowed to keep running because of a loophole. After the mine shuts down, the land will be sold to a nonprofit or a government agency that would provide public access to the beach. Forecasters are warning of potentially dangerous rip currents at area beaches again today. Lifeguards say the strong current from the south can push swimmers north, sometimes 100 to 200 yards. They suggest using the lifeguard towers as a guide for where you are in relation to the shore.
If you find yourselves in need of help, always raise your hand. One is also know your limits. Don't go out too far, especially if you can't touch. We advise people you always use swim fins. That's helped a lot. Be able to kick and move with the current. So, but they'll always wave your hand for help. We'll come out and get you. Always swim near a lifeguard is the biggest thing.
Southern-facing beaches in North County will see bigger waves than down south today, from 6 to 8 feet. The National Weather Service beach hazard statement will remain in effect until 8 o'clock Saturday night. Well, if you're not heading to the beach today, this weekend will still be a perfect time to head outdoors. Regina Miller has more in tonight's forecast.
Well, over the next couple of days, high pressure strengthens here across the southwest. There won't be any real changes to the coastal locations. You'll have those morning clouds giving way to some sunshine. However, the mountains and the deserts, that's where we can see a little bit of monsoonal moisture, and that leads to some afternoon showers and thunderstorms popping up around the area. Now, our satellite and radar showing things pretty quiet here across the area. We widen it out, and we're seeing some showers and thunderstorms popping up there back into parts of Nevada, the Four Corners, and the coastal locations tonight. We just have some of that fog around late with an overnight low of 69 degrees. And tonight's forecast for Borrego Springs, 82 degrees, some increasing late night clouds. And then in Mount Laguna, we're at 64 degrees. Oceanside is at 65. And for your Saturday, we are going to see a hot day here, so we're dealing with that. And we do have some of those showers and thunderstorms, but they should stay off to the east. So for tomorrow in San Diego County, we'll have a high temperature of 96 in Ramona. Borrego Springs tops out at 112. Mount Laguna is at 85 degrees, and Oceanside is at 80. Now, the coastal locations, we'll have the low clouds giving way to some fog on Saturday. Then Sunday, we're at 80 degrees, 81, mostly sunny, nice on Monday. High temperature of 81 on Tuesday as well, and partly sunny. Inland locations, partly sunny and warm for Saturday at 90 degrees, partly sunny and warm, 89 degrees on Sunday, and 88 for Monday and Tuesday. In the mountain spots, that's where we could see a stray shower or thunderstorm around for your Sunday. There could be a thunderstorm in spots on Monday as well, with a high temperature of 80 degrees, partly sunny on Tuesday. On Saturday, we have a high temperature of 112 in the deserts. We could see a stray thunderstorm popping up on Sunday. There could also be a thunderstorm in spots on Monday. I'm Regina Miller, KPBS News.
The 164th edition of the California State Fair opens today in Sacramento with a new exhibit honoring the contributions and achievements of California farm workers. It features videos and displays of celebrated leaders of the farm labor movement, including Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. State Fair officials say the recognition is long overdue. Comic-Con is less than a week away, but the excitement is already starting. Nina Guerin has a look in our weekend preview.
Hello and happy Friday. Comic-Con doesn't begin until next week, but there's already lots of excitement. Here are some things you can do starting this weekend, and best of all, you don't need a badge.
We have work to do.
Cinema at the Balboa is screening the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. It begins Saturday with the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers, and concludes Sunday with the Return of the King. There will be plenty of Hobbit snacks available for purchase. Comic-Con isn't just for people. Dogs are getting into the action too. The Helen Woodward Animal Center presents Pomicon, a pet costume contest and adoption event. Dress up your dog and walk the runway, or just participate in the dog-friendly events like bobbing for squeak toys. Don't have a dog? Don't worry. There will be cute pups in costume up for adoption. Finally, the San Diego Symphony pays tribute to legendary composer John Williams. You'll hear excerpts from beloved movies like E.T., Jurassic Park, Superman, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and of course, Star Wars. Show up early for a costume contest and Star Wars-themed cocktails. This is Nina Guerin for KPBS Arts.
Stay up to date on the San Diego art scene with the KPBS Arts calendar and our arts newsletter. Sign up at kpbs.org/newsletter. Landmark's Ken Cinema kicks off another week of film classics. KPBS Arts reporter Beth Accomando has a preview.
But James, I need you.
So does England.
Classics. Film classics. That's right. A 4K digital restoration of The Spy Who Loved Me starring Roger Moore kicks off a week of film classics at Landmark's Ken Cinema tonight. Moore, who passed away earlier this year, has played James Bond more than any other actor, and this is one of his best outings as 007. Another gorgeous digital restoration screening at the Ken is Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker. The 1979 film marked the director's last work in his native Soviet Union. It's a provocative sci-fi film that defies expectations and refuses to serve up easy answers. But Tarkovsky is such a master craftsman that we thrill to the challenge. The master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock, is on hand with one of his best efforts, North by Northwest, with Cary Grant cast in a classic, tension-filled tale of mistaken identity.
Hey, wait a minute, what's that supposed to be?
Cars waiting outside. You will walk between us saying nothing.
Nobody does it better than Hitch. Marital tensions are at the center of the 60s romantic comedy, Two for the Road.
I love you.
You don't know what love is. I hate you.
Joanna, listen.
The film stars Audrey Hepburn and Albert Finney. The week closes with a noir gem from Orson Welles, Touch of Evil. The film opens with a famously long and complex shot at the border and stars Janet Leigh and Charlton Heston. That's just a taste of what's being showcased in the latest Film Classics Week at the Ken Cinema. But fair warning, it overlaps next week with Comic-Con. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next NewsHour, a look at the relationship between Russia and the United States, the final chapter of our series, Inside Putin's Russia. That's Friday on the PBS NewsHour.
Never mind what the calendar says, winter is here. The 7th season of Game of Thrones premieres this Sunday on HBO. Tonight we take a look back at a story produced by arts reporter Angela Carone, introducing us to a San Diego scholar who helped give the show its unique sound.
In this episode of the NBC comedy The Office, the character of Dwight teaches Aaron how to speak Dothraki.
Dothraki is the native tongue of the nomadic, warmongering horse lords of Essos. I throat rip.
Fourth, Agendak.
You throat rip.
Fourth, Agendi.
He, she, it throat rips.
Fourth, Agenda.
More of a barbaric growl.
Fourth, Agenda.
Louder, you're shouting it from the back of a horse.
Fourth, Agenda.
UCSD grad David Peterson was delighted when he saw that episode. He's a fan of The Office. He also created the Dothraki language for HBO's Game of Thrones. Peterson recently visited his alma mater to talk with students in the linguistics department. Before the lecture, he explained why he enjoys building a language from scratch.
When you're creating a language, if you're going to do it, responsibly, if you're going to try to really create something that's authentic, it's one of the most intellectually rigorous exercises I've ever undertaken. And to me, that's really the appeal.
Peterson started with the source material for the TV show, George R.R. Martin's series of epic fantasy novels, A Song of Ice and Fire. The Dothraki culture guided Peterson in creating the words.
With Dothraki, I remember one of the first words I coined was the word for horse, which was hrazef.
The Dothraki are expert riders, and horses are central to their culture. Peterson also created a phonetic and grammatical structure for the language.
I kept in mind what it was that English speakers would be expecting from the language, and also, what would sound, what would sound cool, what would sound menacing, and that means something different for an English speaker than it does for somebody who's a native speaker of Arabic or Japanese or Chinese. So I was working with kind of the expectations of English speakers in mind.
Peterson met George R.R. Martin at a book signing in San Diego. That's when he realized he got one crucial pronunciation wrong.
I'm like, oh, that's George R.R. Martin. Should I introduce myself? And then I just said, hi, my name is David Peterson. I'm like, hi, I'm the guy that did the Dothraki language. And he's like, oh, so you're the one that did Dothraki. And I'm like, wow. I was way off. I would never have guessed that.
Space, the final frontier.
Creating fictional languages for TV shows and movies became popular after the success of Star Trek's Klingon. Grant Goodall teaches language construction at UCSD. He says Klingon set a high bar for Hollywood.
So now that seems to be the
the new normal. If you're going to have a science fiction series or fantasy series, that you have to have, and if you're going to have some alien tribe or some alien species, they have to have their own language, and it can't just be gibberish that the actors make up on the spot.
Most linguists like Goodall and Peterson end up teaching in universities, but Peterson has carved out a real niche for himself. He's created another fictional language for the latest season of Game of Thrones. And the Sci-Fi Network hired him to create an alien language for the show Defiance. Meanwhile, Peterson hopes to build the Dothraki language to 10,000 words.
If you're going to do it right, if you're going to be creating a language, it pretty much, I mean, if you're going to really put your all into it, it can pretty much take up your entire life.
Angela Carone, KPBS News.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening.